Today we're going to be making refried beans and huevos con salchicha. So what you're going to need is some baked beans already baked beforehand. You're going to need some oil. I have vegetable oil, but any is good. You're going to need 3 eggs, or as many as you want for the quantity you're making. 2 sausages, again, depends on how much you're going to be making. You're going to need an onion, but not the whole thing, just a piece. You're going to need a knife for the cutting to make sure you get everything evenly. You're going to need a pot for the beans, a pan for the egg. You're going to need a spatula, a mashed potato mashy thingy, a spoon. You can't forget your cutting board, and any rag or cloth you have to handle with these hot tools. So now we're going to turn on the stove, put the pot on top of the burning stove, and we're going to pour oil enough to cover the bottom. Next, we're going to cut our onion and put 3 slices in. We're going to add in our beans, but you only want about 2 or 3 spoonfuls of just the beans though. 2 2.5 spoonfuls of beans, or just eyeball it till you feel right. That's what we do here in my house. I just eyeball it, put it down because I have to hold on to the pot. See a little too much oil? You just have to eyeball it and add more beans to it. While cooking the beans, we have 3 reactions going on. One of them being conduction, which is heat transferring throughout the pot. Since it is a solid, it'll go around the side and onto the handle, which is why these pots have rubbery thingies on the end to make sure we keep ourselves from not burning. We also have radiation, which is occurring under the pot, straight from the fire, spreading around. And then we also, if you were to use a lid and put it on top, you would trap everything, making convection, making it also cook faster. See, so once they start bubbling like that, that means they're good. So you can go ahead and turn it off, because if not, you're literally just gonna burn them. Or use your spoon to make sure they're fine. That's how you make refried beans. Little bean puree. Kidding. Okay, now you're gonna turn it off. Okay, so now we're moving on to the egg part. Okay, so you're gonna take your 3 eggs, and you're gonna crack them into a bowl. I prefer a bowl because that way it's like easier for me to whisk. Oh no, that didn't completely come off. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna use. Throw away those eggshells later. Constantly wash your hands. At least I like to, that way I know I'm working clean. Then I take a fork, and then you don't want to forget salt. Can't forget the salt. So you're gonna beat the eggs. I think this is another phase change. It'll happen once you pour it into the pan. You just want to beat them, get them nice and runny. Then you want to take a pinch of salt, not too much, because obviously you don't want them to be salty. It's disgusting. Only 3 eggs. I think that should be enough. Okay, so you're gonna beat the eggs so that you have them ready. And then once you have them to the consistency, you're gonna move them aside. And you're gonna start with chopping the sausages. So you wanna make sure you get them into nice round cuts. You wanna make sure you don't have them too big, too small, or actually however you want. Honestly, don't care. Just like that. you want them into little spheres, right? Okay, now you're gonna go ahead and turn on the pot or the pan. I should say the pan, yeah. So now we're gonna pour our salchichas into the oil. So once they're getting crispy like this, that means you're doing it right. You can either wait until they get toastier to put in the eggs, but I'm gonna do it now because they're gonna get toasted while you're mixing it in with the eggs as well. So I like to pour it right on top of my sausage, the egg. So want to watch that happen. So again, just make sure they're nice and battered correctly. And you're gonna put it on top.
Yeah.
Now, this is more like face changing because of the hot. You're gonna see the egg. Here, while cooking the egg and the sausages, the same reactions that happen in the beans are going on. Conduction and radiation and convection would be happening if we were to use a lid. Here in the egg, we have a phase change, which is the egg going from liquid to solid and can't be reversed back into its original form. This, on this side, so we have our frijoles. You can see our refried beans and our eggs. That's delicious, right? Okay, so I'll be back to show you the final results. Another thing is you can't forget about the drinks. So we're going to be making lemonade. So for the lemonade, we want it nice and cold. We're going to make ice cubes. We're going to pour the water into the mold and put it into the freezer. As the water in the mold is in the fridge, there's a reaction going on called the exothermic phase change, which is a reversible phase change. Here shown in the picture, you can see that gas turns into liquid and liquid turns into solid, and that cannot be reversed, turning back into its original form. And this is what happens with water. So its freezing point starts at 0 degrees Celsius and starts to change phase there. And then the melting is the endothermic phase change because it absorbs the heat around it and begins to melt at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to use the powdered lemonade because it's just easier for me. What's it got? Little cup. And in this small jug, we need a jug. I do about 2 spoons. But it's because these are big spoons, so like 2 big spoons. 2, maybe a half. And then most of the time I don't add sugar because it already has some, but at the same time my family doesn't do much sugar intake. So then we're gonna add our water. So you don't want to add water all the way. Make sure you dissolve it nicely. While making lemonade, we are making a solution, which is a homogeneous mixture of 2 or more substances. This includes solutes, solvent, in order to make the solution. Our solute is the powdered lemonade, our solvent is the water, making the solution, which is lemonade. Once you have that done, that's when you add your water. So I'm just gonna fill it up. With water, just with enough space to add ice. That's what the big mold is for the ice in here. You also want to taste it, make sure it's like good on sugar. So I'm back with the finished result. So this is my breakfast, mi salchicha con huevo and my frijoles. Next we have the ice cream, nice and served. Last but not least, lemonade. Thanks for watching.